President John Dramani Mahama, the president of Ghana, expressing his views on Trump administration cutting aid to African countries. But the question is still there. How can we do as the people of Africa to fill the gap of the money that was withdrawn after Trump cutting aid to African countries? So I think for me, the first thing that we need to do, we need to invest in youth. We need to invest in youth by building capacities to African people, especially youth in agriculture and engineering sector. I'm talking about agriculture because agriculture is one of the major sector that is hiring many Africans. And of course, we must understand that those who feeds you always controls you. You can buy one clothes for 6 months, but you cannot buy food once. You need to consume the food every now and then. So I think to invest in agriculture, it will be better. But of course, we have seen some countries such as Burkina Faso, where the young leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, has invested in agriculture. He bought tractors. All of us, we know very well that last year, Captain Ibrahim Traore bought tractors and agricultural equipment to support agricultural sector. And this year, Burkina Faso went far. He converted prisoners into farmers. That is a good move. You may see how this young leader of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore, is shocking African leaders who are waiting aid from America. You see? So we have people who are so energetic, powerful, who can contribute positive to our development, but we are not using them. We are keeping them into custody. So Captain Traore has seen that as opportunities. Instead of locking them as prisoners, spending a lot of money, so Captain Traore has transformed them to be farmers. After finishing their terms in prison, they can go back home as farmers. That's what Captain Ibrahim Traore has done. So this time, as I speak to you, Burkina Faso has enough food. Burkina Faso is not fed by anyone, and they produce their own food. They consume what they produce. That is a good move. We remember last year, Captain Traore inaugurated the tomato processing plant. Two tomato processing plants. You can see a lot of things are done in Burkina Faso in agricultural sector. Even Captain Ibrahim Traore himself, he went to see farmers. It is few leaders who can leave the office and go to the field. Many of our leaders are sending representatives, something like that. But this young man, when African leaders went to America to attend the US-Africa Summit, Captain Ibrahim Traore went to the farms to meet farmers, to hear challenges. Then after that, 1 year later, not 1 year, almost 6 months later, Captain Ibrahim Traore bought tractors. You know, if you go to the field, you understand the challenges. And that's what this young leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, is doing. So right now, Burkina Faso has enough of food, has surplus, so can supply to other African countries. So we need to do so in agriculture. We cannot rely on America to feed us. And of course, we don't know what America is feeding us. We need to consume what we produce and to produce what we consume. Also on the engineering sector, all of us, we know that we spend a lot of money by hiring Chinese, other European companies. But this time, I think we need to build capacity to our young men and women. Of course, as I said, I'm go back to Burkina Faso as a good example because Captain Ibrahim Traore, you remember almost this month, of course, bought these civil engineering equipment, tractors, rollers, and excavators. And after that, he sent almost 1,500 Burkinabe young people to China to learn how to build the roads, you see. So instead of spending a lot of money to leaders to increase per diems, to increase these movements, trips. Captain Ibrahim Traore took young Burkina Faso people or young Burkinabe to China to learn how they can build the Lord. Through that, small things can be done by Africans. We don't need to hire the Chinese if we have capacities. But if we don't have capacities, we have to hire the Chinese. There are things that must be done by Africans. And by doing so, we are reducing the cost of these projects. So things that can be done by Chinese for maybe 100 US dollar millions can be done by Africans by 20 million US dollars. So it is possible. Also, from there, you create job opportunities for people in the continent of Africa. So I think we need to invest in youth and also building capacities to our people in various sectors, especially agriculture and engineering. Another issue is the issue of infrastructures. Of course, we are working individually. Every country in Africa is trying to work hard to improve infrastructures, but these infrastructures is not for businesses. It is just for movement. But if we want to increase businesses among ourselves, we need to build strategic infrastructures that is connecting countries, regions. We want the road that is moving from Cape to Cairo, Djibouti to Senegal, where people can move. You see, we spend a lot of money building infrastructures, but those infrastructures are not allowing free movement of people and goods. You see, there's no road that is crossing from South Africa through Zimbabwe to Zambia to Tanzania to Uganda, something like that, to Sudan and South Sudan. We want such kind of infrastructure. Train, we don't have such kind of train that is moving from South Africa to Cape Town. We don't have such kind of infrastructures. I think we need to invest in such kind of infrastructures. And if we have good people, intelligent people, we have built capacities to our people, we don't need to hire Chinese or Europeans to build these roads. We need to use our young men and women to build these roads. I think it is possible. So that I think we can do businesses. As you heard at the beginning, Trump said Africa has tremendous business potentials. So we cannot use those tremendous potentials if we don't have good infrastructures. I think even John Mahama, the president of Ghana, has touched this issue. Another issue is working together. One thing that we don't have here in the continent of Africa is working together. These countries, African Union is talking about united, but we are not seeing the true united. Because if you want to move from one place in this continent, you are being asked for visas. So we need to abolish these visas, these things that is becoming our obstacles. So let us remove visas, collapse these borders. So I think if we can start doing like that, we can work together and plan together. I think we can overcome these challenges. We don't need Africans to ask or to wait for Trump to release money for us. Let us work together. We have these natural resources. Yes, for instance, we have seen in countries such as Burkina Faso. Of course, I would like to speak about Burkina Faso many times because it's a good example. Burkina Faso now is producing their own bars of gold. But it doesn't started very easy. It is a journey, it is a process. So I think other African countries, in order to work together, we need to learn from others. Not to learn from the US or to learn from European countries. Let us learn from our own countries. We have minerals. What can we do? We have technologies. For instance, you remember I shared the video of the young innovator from Zimbabwe, someone called Chikumbuso. He's a good engineer, and he must be given a certificate by African Union that this is an innovator of the continent after converting these what we call radio frequencies into energy. So how can we harness such kind of knowledge and bring people together, such kind of people with such kind of knowledges, and distribute or create things for the benefit of the people of Africa. Are we ready to do so? Are we ready to do so? Yes, Chikumbuso has knowledge, can find anyone who can create things that can use such kind of energy. I think we need to work together. That's why I'm saying working together is very, very important. We have people who are intelligent, who have knowledges, but because we don't work together, we are not using them. We are not using Captain Ibrahim Traore as a continent. Yes, he is being used in Burkina Faso, but I wish we must use Captain Ibrahim Traore as a whole continent. You see, what the people of Burundi are benefiting from Captain Ibrahim Traore, what the people of Nigeria are benefiting from Captain Ibrahim Traore. Those are questions that we need to ask. So if we have good people, if we have intelligent people, we must make sure that this person is going to affect the entire continent. The way those who created cars, created mobile phones, networks, affected the whole world. So I think even Africa, we need to think like that. So, but that can happen if we are working together. Another issue that is very, very, very important is the issue of peace. We need to make sure that the continent is at peace, because without peace, we are going nowhere. We see what is happening right now in Democratic Republic of Congo. It is paining. So you see the countries are being pulled into conflicts. South Africa, Rwanda, Congo itself, Uganda, nearby. So I think we need to find solutions of peace. When we talk about development, first priority we must talk about peace, because peace is a foundation of development. Without peace, even myself, I cannot come here and speak loud the way I'm speaking. So I think we need to make sure that we find peace in areas where there's no peace, and to speak the truth to the status quo, that you or someone, you are the main problem. And of course, not the problem that is being discovered by the Europeans. You know, one thing that Africans we are waiting to hear what Trump is saying, what Putin is saying, what Europeans are saying, instead of going to the field and discovered. You know, one day I created a video and I suggested that we have a lot of generals, military generals here on the continent. We have soldiers, captains like Traore, like Museveni, like Kagame. All these are soldiers. Why don't they come together? They went to Addis Ababa to participate for the African Union. What can they do to make sure that this continent is going to have peace? Because they know very well the impact of wars. They have engaged in various war activities. They know very well. So how can we use these generals, soldiers who are leaders, to bring peace in this continent? I think our leaders who are soldiers, they have duty to provide, even if they can light something and go to the African Union, lead, so that the entire world or the entire continent can understand that our military leaders have came with this solution. You see? Yes, I know sometimes we cannot expose everything, but we wish to hear that our leaders have came together to find solutions. Not these things that we are doing right now of sending soldiers in DRC and MONUSCO, whatever you can call it. That will not bring peace. I'm telling you the truth. Those things will not be the solutions. The solution must come from within of us, within our hearts, from our own people. Not the solution that has been franchised in France or Paris or Washington. We need African solution. If our leaders can sit down and say, by the year 2030, we must make sure that there's peace. It is possible. We failed by the year 2020. Why? Because we know that some of us, we are betrayers. We are the beneficiaries of these conflicts. We know very well. But all in all, let us, every African, think about this continent. What are you going to offer to this continent? I think up to that, we can make sure that this continent is going to have peace and people can start creating things, innovating. You know, one thing that people don't know, we think that this peace or this conflict is affecting only maybe DRC people or the people in Somalia. It's affecting all of us. When we go out there, people see us as Africans, the people who want chaos. So I think even businesses, we are talking about continental free trade areas. How can we achieve Africa continental free trade areas at this environment where there's no peace? How can we build railways that we are talking about from Cape to Cairo if there's no peace? Automatically, these people will bomb all those infrastructures. They will make sure that things will not work. What's happening right now in Sudan is paining. So I think the time has come for all of us to understand the importance of peace. I think up to that, my dear lovely Africans, have no more solutions. For today, let me end here. Those are just my opinions, my views on what we can do to fill the gap after the Trump administration cutting aid to some African countries. So I think we can because countries such as Burkina Faso has succeeded to do things. We can survive without American aid. But what we need to do, as I said, is to invest in youth in various sectors such as agriculture and engineering, investing in infrastructures, allowing free movement of people and goods, collapsing these borders, working together, peace. Those are things that you can do. So if you have more solutions than that, please write on the comment section, share with us your opinion, your views, and also help us to share the video to many Africans who are here in the continent and to those who are in the diaspora so that they can have a common understanding on what we are talking about here. So after that, let me say thank you. Have a nice time. See you next time. Bye-bye.